that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
that
fucking
can't
stupid.
always, it can't just start on, like while we're having a converation. That bitch
Dumb
has to,
shit.
just like a fucking
Fucking
woman coming in there and fucking interrupting good shit.
ser-
I'm already started, right?
yeah,
I'm just
you just
kidding,
went
y'all.
out
I'm just
100
kidding.
miles an hour right off the bat. All right, let's do it.
Hey, gunline. Fire mission coming down. It's your host Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast. Shoot the shit, episode number 188. And I got my boy, my co-host, my midweek memo second co-host or one of the two, because the other one's Lee Hunt. So on here today, we got my boy Urena. And I'd like to, introduce him on here. We're going to do just a little shoot the shit episode, kick back and relax. And it's been a while since I've done this. I had to take a break because honestly, it was just, it's a lot of work, believe it or not, y'all, So I want to thank you, Urena, for taking time out of your hectic fucking schedule. Just so y'all know, like he's normally a co-host with Hunt and myself. And, we do the midweek memo for those that have been listening to us for a while. And if you haven't been listening to us for a while, this is like your second or third episode. You're probably wondering, who the fuck is this Korean guy here?
It's fucking.
Well, he's actually in school right now. So, on top of that, he has other duties that he has to take care of.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it when he does have the time to come back on here, because like I stated in one of the he's kind of like the glue that binds us, because if not, me and Hunt will go all over the motherfucking place. So with that, thank you, Urena, for being here today.
Always a pleasure, a fucking privilege, nay, an honor to be in the presence of greatness. I can't, like, I'm just glad to be sharing the same oxygen on the same planet as you. I thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, I thank you for allowing me to be on the same fucking 00s and 11s and 010s.
Yeah, we're
that
all
are
just the same
making
matrix.
this fucking video, and yeah, man, I thank you for being here, bro. Seriously, I do. Tell some people about yourself that don't know who you are.
Well, let's see.
Whatever you can share, of course.
I'm a dude. I've been a dude for about 30 something years. I don't think I'm gonna change that, but yeah, I've been blowing up shit for the Army for a while, and towards the end of that career, and I'm doing college right now, so I'm busy trying to get an education, trying to be a cybersecurity nerd.
Yeah.
We've known each other since 2008, and we've just been going strong with the meme games and the crazy shit. And yeah, I'm just I like to stir the pot. That's my character.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let me ask you, man, how important was getting an education while you were in the military, like before this last year started? Like, how important in the spectrum, or where was it in your priority list when you were, before, like 2 years ago when you started?
Bottom. Like, it wasn't even important at all. Like, anytime I thought, there were times where I did college throughout the career, and I felt like it was a luxury that was afforded to us. Like, you'd have to like figure like a good time to do it, because especially in artillery, man, like there's no fucking time, dude. And everybody always likes to tell you, oh, you just gotta make time, you gotta make time, blah blah blah. Dude, it's fucking impossible, man. When you're working from like 0 to 5, you got 30 people underneath you or whatever, and then you don't even know when you're gonna get off, because like people like to just keep you at work for no fucking reason until like 2300 because somebody lost a wrench or some shit. It's hard, and to have to like go home, do college for a few hours and meet deadlines for them. They don't care on the college side. They just want to make sure that you do it, and the risk is that you pay out of pocket if you fuck up. Like, it's like I didn't have time for it. And then whenever I saw anybody do college, it was always like the old timer fucking platoon sergeant, like he's like, hey man, I'm doing my college courses, man. You got this, chief, and shit. And you're like, shit. And then they try to tell you to do it, and you're like, when am I, when I get on your schedule, I'll be able to do it. So now I'm in that position where I have time, and I'm knocking out college. And if I knew The difference is if I knew how easy it was then, I'd suck it up and do it. I'd figure out a way to do it on the weekends and do college.
Well,
that's what I wish I knew.
Even on deployment, bro, I seen like a lot of Joes, they would knock out college courses while they were out there. You know, one of the benefits about fucking, you know, being on a big fob like Merez out there in fucking in Mosul, you know, yeah, it was a shitty area when we were on mission, but when we were back off mission, you know, they would go in there, they had internet at least fast enough to get some fucking classes knocked out. You know what I mean? So I mean, shit, the mission's only about 4 hours long. You know what I mean? 6 hours, let's say, that when we go out on sector and come back, you got the rest of the motherfucking day to go ahead and knock out some hours, you know? And
yeah,
so
nothing but time.
Yeah. And, you know, but I agree with what you're saying as a staff sergeant, you know, and you're a section chief, your time's pretty fucking limited, you know? And it's not just an excuse. I mean, if you're really dedicated to your fucking job, you know, fuck, you're going through your NCOERs, you're going through your fucking counseling statements, you're checking on your Joes, making sure they're doing good. And it's not like every Joe is fucking squared away. You know, you got to fucking deal with Joe going through a divorce, Joe going through a bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? So
you definitely burn yourself out. But what I would say to myself, and I know I wouldn't listen to myself because back then I would just like party to like unwind, to get away for a bit. But if I went back in time and I looked at myself, I'd be like, dude, just fucking suck up the pain for like 1 year. All I'm asking you is just suck it up for 1 year, and you'll get 1 degree, 1 associate's degree in the 1 year and stuff. And then by then you've already kind of conditioned yourself to like, to this is how your workflow goes, and then you'll just end up like not stopping till you reach your ultimate goal.
Give me 1 quick second, real quick. I don't know if you can hear the background, but give me 1 quick second.
Children are out of control. So to the listeners,
hey, check it out. Dad's trying to do a podcast here. I need y'all to calm down and be quiet.
I went to my towel and now I don't have one to use.
Okay, well, I'll get you one. Make sure you put Sadie back inside the daggone thing.
Okay.
Yeah, put her in her cage.
Listeners back home, what you're listening to is Parenting 101.
Now, be quiet. God damn.
He just raised his voice.
Kids. All right.
Just raised his voice at his children, but he didn't mean it in a negative way. He meant
oh, bro, let's not go there, because you know I already heard how much of a asshole I am. You know,
let's elaborate, because I don't agree. I don't think.
Well, I think it's still early in the podcast. You really want to jump into that one already?
We don't have to get into the specifics, but I think people need to understand, because a lot of emotions get mentioned, and I listened to the last podcast, so I get to understand how people without the right context would go into, like, if you're going in dry for the first time and then that's the first episode you listen to, I can understand how people would be like, why would he say some shit like this, or like, why do people believe this, and whatever, like.
All right, so long story short, y'all, if you heard episode 187, fucking go figure 187, right?
Yeah.
I pretty much went a little bit hard on, and if you've been following the podcast for a while, you know I have a specific point of view, you know, that I ride, and it's just the way I feel about it. It's just not gonna change, you know. And I have daughters, so don't give me the whole, you know, if your kid grew up in whatever. Okay, it's just my point of view about females in combat arms. All right, that's just it. I don't think they should be there. We're not going to go into, well, I don't know. We'll see where Urena wants to take it. Yeah. But here's the thing. Like I responded to someone who had wrote to me about the episode. They told me that, you know, pretty much that I was wrong for my thoughts. I kind of want to read it. Should I read it?
No.
Okay.
Because
I'm not going to say who it was, obviously.
No, still, you don't want to say something that somebody else said, and then they're like, "Oh, I never said that." You want to hear certain things. You want to hear from the horse's mouth.
Oh yeah,
and that's why that's important.
That's true. Like, I mean, thank you for bringing that up. You know, so this person hit me up on the IG, and you know, they told me that I pissed them off within the first 10 minutes, and I thought it was a joke. Honestly, I thought they were joking with me.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you know, she came down like, you know, with a paragraph telling me exactly, you know, how she felt. And that's cool, you know. And at the end, she thought I was gonna laugh about it or whatnot. And she gave me her point of view. Well, she just gave me what she thought I was pretty much gonna do, or what she thinks I'm gonna what she thinks my mentality is, right? So what I ended up responding with was something, and I'm just gonna fucking what's that word? Paraphrase here. Um, that as an NCO, when I was a section chief, when I left, we were getting ready to start integrating females into the motherfucking gun line. All right. So I told my Joes, you know, once we start getting these females here, we're gonna treat them just like we treat everybody else. Nothing special, you know, no fucking no, it's gonna be, I'm gonna hate you all equally across the board. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear no bitching, no complaining, no crying. If you're gonna do that, you do it amongst your own circles, but we're not gonna treat her any differently. And I wasn't gonna treat a female any harder or any easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as a non-commissioned officer, United States Army, my opinions weren't dictated by, oh, I'm sorry, how can I put this? My opinions didn't dictate my leadership. Okay. My job as a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army is to enforce the standards and the policies that are set. That's what my job is, whether I agree with them or disagree with them. Now, did I mention to my Joes that I didn't believe that females should be in combat arms? No, I didn't. I mentioned it within my little group, you know, my little group of other section chiefs, you know.
There, and you were entitled. You were 100% entitled to what you believe, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
it didn't mean that I was gonna be like, oh man, here come these bitches over here, blah, blah, blah. And you know, to that extent, I remember back when we still had DADT, don't ask, don't tell, right?
Yeah.
I remember I had a soldier out in Korea who was gay. You know what I'm saying? And we talked and everything, and he told us he was, and like, I don't care. You know, are you a fucking good cannoneer? That's all I cared about. You know what I'm saying? So even though I may not agree with that lifestyle, but I'm not going to treat them any differently either. You know what I mean? I still respect you. So, anyways, with that said, you know, I also reached out and I asked that person if they wanted to come on here and, you know, learn me about her perspective, because I spoke with someone earlier today who was telling me, after I told him my only experience with females were the ones that were on the FET and, you know, supply clerks and you know, the other fucking S1s, you know, all the soft skill MOS
Support, yeah.
So that's been my experience with them, and the experience that I've known of them has been that, you know, not all of them, but a lot of them, you know, they biologically handle their business with the men. It's just human. So that's where my opinion was skewed from, I guess. But I was told that, you know, by someone who worked with the women in the field artillery, that they have a whole different mentality, a whole different way of thinking. And once I was told that, you know, I decided, you know what, that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and reach out to this person so I can get her perspective as a cannon crew member or as a field artilleryman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I was left on red, but
no. So what people need to understand is like the context behind what you say is based on your interpretations of it. It's from your perspective, from like your chief seat, right? Like from what you see, and it's a normal. A lot of people sharing the same beliefs. People that see this change and they didn't experience it firsthand. And it's kind of like, hey, you got to prove to me otherwise or whatever. And that's why it's important for this platform, for if somebody doesn't agree with you, you know, come bring your fucking perspective and provide that insight from your point of view, and kind of fill in those gaps to kind of educate us, educate you, educate anybody on like, hey, look, I get what you're saying, but this is my experience and this is how I act. And by the end of the conversation, I'm pretty sure you're going to be like, oh, we're speaking the same language. Like I didn't know that, like I didn't get it because I've never met somebody, a woman that does the job.
Right.
And like the way you talk, the way you describe things, the way you characterize Joe's, and like it's the same language. I just didn't know, I just never heard it from you, from a person like you before.
Right.
And that's the problem. People just need to like come out and say it. When I talk about the topic, I talk about the topic as somebody that's been through that integration, and I saw it from the male point of view inside, like from a leadership standpoint, seeing it firsthand. So, and then I only speak on that. I'll never talk about their feelings or how, unless somebody expresses their, like how they felt and they tell me, then I quote them directly.
Right.
But I'm never gonna like, hey, this is my opinion on how they felt. Like I don't make those kind of calls and stuff. So I only speak on what I know, what I've seen, and it's limited to that. I'm a dude, happen to be in a unit that integrated, and this is what I saw. And that's what I like to speak on. And a lot of times it does conflict what you say or what other people say or whatever. It is what it is. But that's why I come here and I'll tell you,
Right.
and I think that's what people need to do. They need to talk instead of just like, oh, you don't get me. That's it.
Right. Need to have the dialogue, and at the end of the day, we won't agree because again, I'm dead set on females should not be in combat arms. It just doesn't increase the lethality, and it just causes to me more tension and drama than it's needed. That's just my opinion,
because you didn't experience it firsthand, like you or in that like in the specific 13 Bravo realm. You didn't experience that firsthand, so you're going off of, this is how I feel, this is what I see, maybe no feelings, this is what I see. Like
it's just my belief.
Prove me wrong.
It's just
like,
my belief. Yeah,
you haven't seen the evidence to prove you wrong.
Exactly.
You haven't seen the evidence.
Well, not only that, I mean, just also from stories I've heard, of of the shenanigans that go on, and I'm just checking my. Oh man, never mind. I thought I had an IG that said, hey, I'm coming on time, meow. But dude. And like I said, the invite's out there, and if there's any females out there that are in a field artillery that want to come on here and shoot the shit, look, it's not a motherfucking trick. I'm not trying to fucking be with those gotcha moments or aha. I seriously, we could have a conversation, shoot the shit, and talk. And at the end, I'll ask you, the same question I asked dudes when we were on the gun line, and hanging out. Like, if you could suck your own dick, would you? Except I would ask you, if you could suck your own clit, would you? You know what I'm saying?
And they will answer the question loud and proud. And I'm telling you because I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it, and they will fucking. The language is the same. The conversations are the same. It's just something's different underneath the legs.
And like you said, yeah, exactly. And look, here's the issues that I was having with it, hygiene wise, having to fucking add extra shit. I don't know how that works, but it just seems to me it's gonna be an extra effort. And
so
go ahead.
So when we got them, it was like, here you go, figure it the fuck out. Basically, there was no instructions. The Army was telling people, oh, we're gonna do this like methodically, we're gonna like check in with people.
Let me ask
hold on. The Army was like, hey, we're gonna like make sure that this does smoothly. At the real world ground level shit, it was like, here you go, man, you guys got this figured out, because we're popping off.
Okay, so with that being said, when y'all got them, were there any changes that you had to make on the gun line?
Fuck no.
None.
Fuck no.
None.
Hell no.
None
because I was the chief, and I was literally like, I gotta do Fort Knox, and I gotta do some artillery in like 2 weeks. Do I have time to figure out how to fucking change the way I operate and talk? Other people around me were like changing their moods and behaviors or whatever. But me, I was like, I ain't got time for that shit. I've been chiefing a certain way my whole fucking career.
But what I want to know is, like, when you had to go to the field, did you go to the field with them?
Yes.
Did you have to change any kind of
Fuck no. What am I supposed to do? Shit out of Porta-John? Shit out of like drive you back from the field? Like, we didn't. No, I only know one thing. If you got to take a piss, There's a fucking wood line. You got to take a shit, dig a hole. There's a fucking wood line. If you got to shower, figure it the fuck out, but stay clean. We ain't going nowhere. We're on this fucking firing point, so it's time to fucking move.
See, now that is the shit. As long as I'm hearing that across the board,
and that's how it had to be. When you like, we didn't have time to like go. All right, we're gonna like have 3 days, and then we send them back. There was no time for that, especially then. Eventually, your whole like half your section is like male, women. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, hey, we got a timeout. Like, no. Figure it the fuck out.
Let me ask you.
Guess what? What's up?
777?
Yes.
Was she humping rounds?
Yes.
Or was she fucking just being RTO?
Fuck no. RTO? Wait, you just gonna skip? No. You started at the bottom. Now we're here. Like, no. You fucking you carry some fucking rounds. You're a powder bitch. You're fucking
were you allowed to call them powder bitches?
Yes. Nothing changed. Hey, powder bitch, get the shit. Roger, Chief.
Again,
that's it. Nothing changed. Would other people change? Would people that are like?
Let me ask you in your experience.
Yes.
First of all, and this just asking, was she straight or gay, or were they straight?
Why would it matter? Why would it matter?
This is there's a question I'm coming with.
I never asked. It was never like.
So,
I never
to your knowledge,
dudes.
were there any shenanigans between the males and the females on the line? To your knowledge,
on the gun during the field. Is that no? Because that matters. Like
no.
Because I ask a dude like, hey, how many chicks did you fuck this weekend in the barracks? Okay. Would I ask that? No, I wouldn't. As a chief, why would I ask that?
What I'm asking, simply asking,
was
there any male or female fucking around on the gun line?
On the gun.
On the gun line, on the fucking gun line. I'm not saying that he bent her ass over the fucking breach and pounded her there. I'm saying within the sections, was there any fucking going on?
No, because then why?
That you know
where were the chief? Like, what is the chief gonna sit in the front of the LMTV and there's like an orgy in the back of his truck? Like, what? Why would that happen? Who would do that? Like, why? That doesn't make sense. Like, nobody's gonna be like banging in the back of the LMTV. You got a whole section like your AG's like, hey, just don't fuck on my shoulder. Like, what do you?
Okay,
what?
Let's say they're not in the same section. All right, I'm just okay. Not in. Okay, see, you're. Oh my god, dude.
I get what you're getting at.
Yeah,
but
you know what I'm
realistic.
getting at. Let me ask you: if they were out in sector, all right, if they were fucking and they're out, let's say they're out in Afghanistan, they're on, let's say, Cop Joyce, all right, or fucking Metalam, one of those, whatever.
Gotcha.
All right. They don't have an LMTV to go fucking. I mean, there's plenty of them, but you're going to tell me there's not going to be any fucking going on?
If there is, then why doesn't, like, what's it matter? Like, what's it
matter is what if she gets knocked up?
Okay, then you hold their fucking feet to the fire. Like, but you show me evidence that like percentages of 13 Bravo females getting pregnant on deployment. I took I don't
even have to go there to 13
I
Bravos.
took 2 or 13 Juliets. I took 2 on deployment with me to Afghanistan, to an outpost, mostly infantry. Guess what? They weren't pregnant. Like, when we brought them back, there's like no pregnancies. Like, what is it, like? And then because we're nitpicking certain things, and then we overlooked like, are dudes taking porn on deployments?
Fucking right.
We're not going to say anything. Are dudes trying to bang the Air Force chicks on the fob?
Yep.
If they are we going to say anything? Oh, and if they get into a and if they knock up a chick, is there a risk that she's going to come to your like fucking briefing, safety mission brief, and say, hey, that dude got me pregnant?
No, but the problem with somebody getting knocked up is that was going to be out of the fucking fight, and somebody has to take their motherfucking place.
It's just, it doesn't like, can it happen? Yes. Yes. There in some point, but can Joe fucking dude fucking like break his leg because he wanted to go to salsa night and he fucking hip rotated too hard?
Really?
Exactly. That feeling of hearing something so outlandish is how I feel when I hear like hey, if you take your chicks down there, she's gonna get pregnant. What are you gonna do? Like, really? Like,
I'm not saying she's
I
going to. I'm saying the possibility is there.
yeah, there's a possibility for
And the
fucking
it's not
everything.
only that, it's just, again, there, to me, at least in my opinion, it's that there's, if it wasn't broke, why try to fix it? I mean, all this shit was done out of political correctness. And
so
listen,
here's
no, my turn.
yeah, go ahead.
So the issue is, again, I foresee too many negatives and outweighing the positives. All right, as far as like, okay, let's take away the fucking the pregnancy portion.
Mhm.
Let's talk. There's a relationship somehow, because again, humans are fucking human.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say relationship only in the barracks, not even on the gun line, right? Only in the barracks. However, Private Joe Snuffy is with her, right? They're together, but
Yep.
then Private Joe Snuffy's homeboy is jealous now because he wanted to get with her.
Okay.
You don't see that causing any tension,
Dude, but it happens with everybody.
mm-hmm.
Like, I sat in a meeting this week or whatever. I'm not going to mention any names
Right.
or MOSs, right? But it was about suicide, and
Oh,
so the soldier in this other unit in some other duty station. It was an example that we were given.
mm-hmm.
He was of this one MOS. He liked this girl who was in the same MOS but worked in a different unit. He liked her. He got friend zoned. Turns out that his battle buddy was fucking around with her, and he didn't know till the last minute. So the dude fucking killed himself.
Wow.
So does it happen? It happens to everybody. It could happen to anybody. But now, like, it could happen to us. Like, so, like, I don't. There's so many things that could happen.
Right. So wouldn't you
that
want to mitigate the risk?
So here's the downside to okay. The pros outweigh the cons. In my opinion, the pros outweigh the cons. What are the pros? Before 20 years ago, if a chick made general, right, you'd always question, like, how'd she make it? She's a support person. Why is this person going to be in charge of a BCT if she's never served a day in her life on the fucking line? And then so we created these roadblocks, and then we criticized people from like making it through the roadblocks and getting up to these high positions, and we started scrutinizing everything. Well, if she didn't serve on a line, how the fuck did she become a general? She didn't earn anything. She just fucking made it. Case in point, a female takes over as a drill sergeant commandant for the first time. It didn't matter that she was a drill sergeant at some point. It became, well, she's not infantry, even though that's not a requirement to be the commandant of the drill sergeants. It was
Right.
like, she was never fucking infantry. She's never combat arms. She doesn't understand anything. How dare she take over as this blah, 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 all because she was a woman being put in charge, right? So no matter like how many times these chicks like made it to where they needed to make, everything they did was always scrutinized, questioned, and compared to men. And not only that, compared in such a way that there's no possible way that they can ever meet those expectations, because there's blocks in place to keep them from like being infantry, from being artillery. So how do you expect somebody to be like you or reach those milestones if you created a barrier to keep them from joining, like from like
I got
meeting
what you're
that
saying.
criteria?
Now, see, I get what you're saying there. As far as like, I don't think that broads should be fucking held back from promotion if if they hit the criteria needed. You know what I'm saying? And dude, I mean, schooling, right? They go through a lot of fucking schooling. And before there's any real war, how can they really know what it's like to be command in a war anyway? So they go through school. So I mean, what I'm getting at is, for that female who became a general or whatnot, that's pretty fucked up that they put her through the ringer on that shit, But also on the same fucking coin, and I hate saying but, because when you say but, you just fucking erased everything that you were talking about. I don't like the fact, and I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know. However, when they start specifically looking for a female to put in that role so they could become the first, okay, that irks me. For example, I'll give you an example. The first black fucking female vice president, that fucking worked out really fucking well, hasn't it? All right. And he said that he was going to pick her because of that. Now he's doing the same thing with the Supreme Court justice, the first black female Supreme Court justice. So when you start just selecting somebody based on their gender and race, that's where I have an issue with that, as far as like promotions and stuff like that. Or if they were dumbing down to the standards or lowering the standards. Now, I've never been part of the soft community or SF community at all. And, you know, there's many arrangers out there and many SF out there. And I'm just saying a lot of them, I'm overgeneralizing here, have said that for some of the females that go through, they kind of lowered the standards for them. I don't know if it's true or not because I'm not part of that community. I'm just repeating what I've heard. And if that is something that is being done, that's wrong.
So okay, to cover a lot of that stuff. Here's my problem, right? I agree that you shouldn't change the standards. If you're gonna say everybody has the same standards, if you meet the standards, you're good. With some people up top, they're so eager to be the first to claim that they oversaw the first making it. They lower the standards. The women going through, they want nothing else but to meet the fucking standards and show that they could do the fucking job. But if you tell them, hey, you only got to do 3 fucking sit-ups and old dude has to do 20, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, fuck, let me just knock out 20. They'll knock out 20, but you're only going to think, oh, they only had to do 3, you know? And they could try to prove you wrong, but the system has created such a lower bar for them. Like, dudes, like, I came in, I could barely do fucking 10 push-ups, man. But you told me that I had to do 60 in order to pass the PT test. I worked my ass off. Eventually I got to 60 on the very like last week of fucking basic or OSET training and shit. But I got to that point and then I fucking reached it. And with women, you're telling them like, hey, you only got to do 10. They're like, I don't get it, but I'll do it.
Right.
And then knowing full well that they do it and they meet the standard, then they're gonna get criticized because the standards that they didn't set are already low and stuff. There's people out there that
realistically speaking, if we had the old APFT or even the ACT, even if we had just a MOS specific PT test, how many out of 100 females, how many do you think would actually pass?
I would say maybe 20.
What about males?
I would say probably 75.
I think we're on the same note on there because
this is based off data that the Army Times had published before, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. They kind of gave rough estimates close to that.
I don't know if you can hear these kids screaming. I'll be right back. But if you want to go ahead and just talk about that raw data right back, I'll be right back because we all know that there's a bunch of males in the field artillery as well that can't even fucking hump around. And you know where we usually put them at? Drivers or in training room.
Yeah. And guess what? I would gladly. I told you about that noise. Oh shit! It's got real. Keep eating, folks. Keep eating. Or just pretend like daddy didn't just yell at the kids and stuff. Just keep eating, guys.
What are you talking about, man?
No, just kidding. I will gladly take the 20 women that fucking pass it and fill that gap of 100. And I just freed up 25 slots by losing 25 dudes that couldn't make it. Let me get those 20 women because they can make it. They fucking pull their weight. They showed that they could, and that's what we're trying to say, you know. And it's not, and it's shitty that the Army has this stupid fucking, well, we're just gonna keep lowering the standards because the numbers aren't high approach, and it's not the woman's fault.
Right?
They're like, hey, we're not asking for all that. We're not asking for fucking hand-me-downs. I know this from talking to women that are like, I didn't ask for fucking scores to be that low. I can show you better scores, and they can. But the Army's like, oh, we're nervous, like our numbers and all that shit. The Army fucks it up. The Army is the one that fucking fucks this
again.
bullshit.
I'm not saying that there's not broads out there that can do the fucking job. I know there are. All right. Yeah, they're already on the fucking line as it is. And if I was on the gun line, I'd still treat them like every other fucking Joe. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree with them being on the line because I think it's too much of a fucking distraction. And like old girl said, what did she say? I can't keep my dick, like, or I can't keep from shaking my dick or something like that. But it's not even that. I got porn. I can go jerk off in the fucking water
She
gun.
probably
So.
meant like it's a pissing contest. It's like you can't stop
No.
shake your dicks. This pissing contest is over. I don't know if you heard that term.
No, it wasn't like that. It was more along, literally can't keep my dick out of my hands because I saw a female.
Well, there's a general feeling that people project like their own issues with it from like what it will cause. Like it will be too much of a distraction to them personally because of different things. Like there's so many different dynamics, dude.
Right.
There's so many fucking dynamics. Like even the same shit that we hear now is what people were saying about gay dudes being in the military. Like, oh, guys are gonna be fucking in the fucking on the gun line and shit if you let them in. You know, we know that they're here. You just can't tell us that they're here. You know, officially. Because
Bro, we already
once you do
knew
that,
gay guys were.
yeah. But
The only
once you
one-
do that, they're gonna be fucking and sucking each other off on the fucking gun line, man. Don't let them in. And what happened?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing again. I can understand a female's passion, you know, and the way that she wrote that letter to me. I can understand her passion, you know, and then being shit on by other motherfuckers. I think that's wrong, you know. I'll shit on you, but I'm not gonna shit on you in front of everybody else or to your face. You know, I'm gonna shit around my motherfucking circle. But while we're at work, I'm gonna put you to work, you know, just like everybody else. I'm gonna treat you like every other soldier. You know what I'm saying?
That's all
But
they're asking for.
and that's fine with me. I have no
Yeah,
I just don't want them on the line. I just don't want them in combat arms.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? And like
me personally, I'll take because I took 2 on deployment.
Yeah.
I'll take those 2 any fucking day of the year against anybody you fucking throw at me because they were that fucking badass at their fucking job.
What did they do?
The fucking gunner age every single position on the 777 in Afghanistan. They were taking mortar rounds. Their fucking shoe took a direct hit on top of their fucking barracks while they were fucking asleep. Thank God we slept in fucking reinforced barracks because they would have died on the spot. But what did they do? They went back.
Did they have separate living quarters than y'all?
Just the 2 of them.
So they had separate living quarters
with together because they were friends. Like why would we have choose, right? So why am I gonna put just a guy and a girl?
Oh no, I got that part already. But you guys had separate chews, but they were together in the same area. They were right there in the same location. They weren't separate for like a different. They were in like in a different housing.
So let's differentiate, right? So we had a hot gun space or whatever. So when they're on hot gun for 24 hours, the whole section's pretty much sleeping ass to crack right next to each other, sweating over each other, arms over each other, fucking like a good section does, right? When you get back, you're in the room, you pick your roommate. Did it just so happen to be female? Yeah,
I don't care about female. I'm just saying, were they in the same lined up? They weren't fucking put like in a different location.
No, we were in the same building. Like I opened my door, they're right there in front of me.
Right. That's all I was asking, man. I wasn't asking anything else.
I wouldn't keep them anywhere else. That'd be weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, that's cool. I mean, again, man, that's cool. I'm happy for you. I just see 2, and it's again, you have the experience, I don't. You know what I mean? So had I had that experience, it might be different. It might be. Just in my opinion, I just see too many distractions. Not for me personally. You know what I'm saying? The distractions that I would have would be probably fucking counseling motherfuckers because I catch a guy oogling her ass and then fucking I got to put that motherfucker on check. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
why though? Like, why would you? That's what I guess. That's what I'm trying to figure out is like, why would you? Like, why would there be a need to change the way? Like, why would your concerns turn into like this relationship thing? If you let go of that concern and just treat it like anybody else, then it's not an issue anymore. Like, Why? So me as a chief, why would I be worried if like so and so is fucking so and so somebody
No, it's
else?
not just even if he's fucking her. It's the fact, that let's say they're not even fucking. But again, males are males, females are females. The dude probably, for example, let's say she has a banging body, somebody that goes to work out all the time, looks great and fucking all that shit. She's taking her clothes off, changing motherfucking, uniform, putting on her other uniform, a clean uniform.
At the gym?
In the field, fool, in the field.
Oh, in the field. Okay.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I used to get butt ass naked right there and under the net and just fucking change clothes.
Okay. And
So
then soldiers just like stared at you.
So what I'm saying is, if a female was to do that and a guy is looking at her, like oogling her, then I have to get in that ass. You know what I'm saying? Because he shouldn't be doing that.
So, but what if she was a dude and he's staring? What are you gonna do?
Like, damn, dog, you like what you see there? See, and there's a difference.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you do that with him saying looking at her?
Why?
Why wouldn't you say that?
Because it's different.
No, because you're scared.
No, because it's
scared.
fucking different. All right.
No, because
yes.
it's the
Are
same
you
shit.
fucking kidding me?
You're projecting your
Are
fears.
You
You're projecting your fears.
Fine. Call it projecting my fears. And that's true. It is. It's not projecting my fears. It's me having foresight of what can go wrong and trying to avoid it happening.
And the great part about this, right, is you're not the only one that I've seen with this attitude.
Yeah.
Because I saw a chief. We had the same thing. Another chief, same exact way. It's like he would like a non-direct approach. Like I can't be here because like this is I don't know what to do with my hands. Like I'm freaking out. And then I'd be like, dude, just fucking figure it out, man. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop existing? Like,
it's not that. It's not that I would be afraid to take on the challenge. It's just I foresee issues. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is the whole reasoning. And let's just take it off the gun line. Let's take it into the infantry world. Let's take it into the tanker world. Let's take it to the Calf Scouts. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing that was done was fucking, again, for political reasons. There was nothing wrong with the way shit was before. You know what I mean?
Ain't broke, don't fix it. Like
hashtag vet bro for life.
But it was broke because I just explained the challenges that women in leadership positions were having.
Okay, well, you know what? They could have fixed that area. They could have lowered
the criteria. They're like, oh, there's this clear, obvious barrier to the perception behind your leadership. Let's remove the barrier. Like, and then now that's an issue because like, wait a second, we wanted them to like reach these high positions, but now we can't criticize them for reaching these high positions because now they're doing the jobs that we did. So shit. Well, you know what? The standards
to me, it's nothing about that. To me, again, it has to do with being in combat arms. They could fucking find different routes to get to that star that they want.
But they want to kill people. They want to kill people just like you. And some of actually, they want to kill people more than people that like. I would take a trained killer woman over some dude that's like, I didn't know what. I just picked the MOS because it was the only thing available, and that's it. And then you talk to these women, they're like, I just want to fucking blow people up, and they get excited about it, and they're like, they would wear, if they were legally allowed to, they would wear the skull of their enemies over their head, and fucking wear it proudly with a crown. Like, I would take that person, male or female, and stuff. Why is it so wrong that they want to fucking murder fucking people? And then the way I see it, if I have 213 Bravos make babies together, now I have a family dynasty of murder. Like, imagine being the kid in that family. It's like, my parents blow people up at fucking show and tell day. Like, my mommy fucking killed 100 Taliban fucking insurgents, and my daddy fucking killed 600, and they are fucking cool, and that's why they called me Red Leg Junior, because I'm fucking cool, and then someday I'm gonna be a fucking red leg myself. I will take those fucking people over some fucking soft ass fucking, I don't know why I joined.
I mean, I don't want any soft ass motherfucker on my line anyway.
Yeah, like it's just, why is it so wrong that they want to kill people?
It's just different views, man. Different strokes, different folks.
I know, man. I know, and I know your point of view. Because I've seen it amongst a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
And look, man, it's when you start having to fucking make specific changes, like, okay, we're gonna have to have X amount of females in this battery, and they split it in your MTO, you know, just do that, man. You fall in where you fall in. That's just me. That's just how I believe. That's again, you know, I get it. I'm a toxic masculine man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you know what?
you
I'm not
just-
going to deny the fact that I'm a chauvinist. I guess they call them male chauvinist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to deny that. You know, I'm not. Um, I'm happy for the females that are out there on the gun line. I'm happy for them. Go sling them rounds, baby. You know, there's this chick who follows the podcast on, you know, on the Instagram, and you know, hey, go sling them rounds, girl. You know what I'm saying? Handle that business. I'm proud of you. You know, but yeah, in the back of my mind, it's a whole different story. But I'm not gonna stop you from doing what you can, what you want to do. If my kids want to join the military, and you know, my daughter wants to go be a 13 banger, I'm gonna support her.
I just don't agree with it.
I just don't agree with it. Exactly.
Because you haven't seen it, and you haven't had a daughter in the artillery, and a metaphoric daughter. You haven't been a father of a daughter in the artillery.
It's because again, what I've seen, my examples of females just near the gun line, just
are
near
based
it,
on the support chicks.
Okay, that's fine. You call it what you want, but at the end of the day, a pussy is a fucking pussy.
No, it's
and
not.
A dick, okay, and a dick is a fucking dick. And when they want to fuck,
I'm an artillery dude,
if they want to fuck, they're gonna find that LMTB
if you're an artillery dude and you go into an office full of fucking chemical NCOs or fucking supplied male NCOs, are you gonna feel different? Are you gonna feel like you're built different than those guys? Simple question. Simple question. Same shit. Simple question. Right? You know that if you go into a support fucking unit, right? Like a unit just full of support people, fucking fuelers, you know that you walk into that room and you're fucking built different. You got a little bit more confidence, and you're like, what am I doing with these?
And that's why, you know what's the fucked up thing about this podcast is right now, Urena?
What's that?
We got two male Richard swinging motherfuckers talking about females. We need a female point of view. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And again, I'm not gonna sit here and berate them or, you know, talk shit to them. I'll congratulate them, like, good fucking job on what you're doing. But don't hate me because I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
It's like the whole gay thing, man. People that are gay and trans and all that good shit. I don't agree with it, but I don't hate you for it. And, you know, I'm not disrespecting you for it. I'm still gonna treat you like a fucking human, but I don't agree with it. Does that make sense?
No, I get it.
You know,
man. Yeah.
And that's just how I feel about things, you know. Now, in a perfect world, you know, women wouldn't even have to be in the military. Women, you know, I'm glad that they're out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old school cat. I get it. I'm an old school cat. In my perfect world, women would still be kind of like it was back in the 50s and shit. Yeah, go ahead, hate on me all you want, but guess what? Guess what? The nuclear family was existent. You know,
and I bet Ronald Reagan was the best president ever, and fucking.
I don't think there was a best president ever. Each one has their own good and bad. But
times were better back then, especially in the 50s.
I'm just saying,
segregated water fountains.
So I mean, that's come on now. That's fucking potato. Because you know what? Black families still stuck together at that time as well. Now, I'm not talking about the racism.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm
talking about the family dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about, you know, and, you know, like, you know, the mother didn't have to work. The father fucking could, but that's not their fault, you know, and that's now because of the way society is that, look, women, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Because at the end of the day, if you have children, those children need you more than you need that fucking job or career. Just saying. That's just my opinion.
And
damn, this shit went somewhere else. But again, you know, and this is fucked up because, again, we got two dudes talking about female shit. All right. And that would be like, you know, like two broads telling us, you know, it's like two broads telling us how a man sees shit. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway, so we're just shooting shit out here. If you guys are still here with us, I appreciate y'all. I mean, it's been 1 hour that we've been on here, and so far so good. We've been just discussing, shooting the shit up about fucking females in combat arms. But go ahead, man. What were you pulling up? I know you're Mr. Research.
No, because you mentioned the 50s, right?
Right.
And that things were better back then, but something that we always
familial
overlook.
wise.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. Domestic violence rates were like at the highest point because women were thought of as inferior. They didn't bring anything to offer at the table. You could literally leave a woman and she'd be ruined for the rest of her life because her support network was that man, that fucking the provider or whatever. Right. So she was in constant state of fear because if she didn't act right, she was kicked out to the curb, homeless or whatever. The guy would be all right. Domestic violence rates, the highest, like, because it was considered a family issue back then. Domestic violence. There was no domestic violence. It was family issues that were handled within the family. So law enforcement looked the other way, like, you just smacked the shit out of your wife. Not our problem. That's a family problem.
I'm not condoning
stuff. So like that is the era that people were talking about and stuff. Oh yeah, everything was good. Yeah, because the wife's scared. Like, now they're slowly trying to ask for like some sort of like fair equal rights without being like questioned about how'd you get into this position, like, because they busted their ass. They work their ass off and stuff. If I see one of my female soldiers become a sergeant major someday, be like, she fucking busted her ass up. Like, she deserves to be up there. Right. She worked hard. And I'd get pissed if somebody's like, how did she get up there? Like, I don't get it. No, fuck you, guy. You didn't do shit. Fucking, what'd you do? Recruit? Like, you were a recruiter? She was fucking slinging rounds, killing fucking Taliban. The fuck do you do?
There you go.
But that's me. You have your point of view. I have my point of view. No, of course.
And again, as long as she wasn't selected simply on the fucking gender, if they had both motherfucking here, and then she outdid him, fuck it.
Hey, or don't mention gender anymore. Genderless. Yeah, they exit out. There's no he or she reference in the.
Is there bullets. A name?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I'm not even talking about NCOER. I'm talking about packets.
So I don't know. Well, I hope my name is Ashley. Then, then my likelihood of getting promoted in this like non-existent quota system is.
And that's what sucks. Again, quotas is one thing I don't agree with, and I hate that it's become a big social experiment within the Army.
And there's a valid thing. I don't believe in the connotation behind affirmative action as a hiring method. I think it undervalues the actual work and contributions of people and stuff. Like, if I picked you, I don't want people to think that I picked you because I did so because of like race or whatever.
But a lot of people do get caught. They get picked like that. I'm not talking about the Army. I'm talking about even at work, and because they want to be diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, and then the downside is if somebody makes it on their own merits, then people start questioning. So I think it undersells the contributions of a lot of people. It's a
fucking. You know what it is? Non-white privilege. That's what it is. It's non-white privilege. People say there's white privilege, but there's your non-white privilege. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth, So, but yeah, dude, I think it's yeah, dude, we took this one so deep, man.
Hey, that's good, man.
I didn't know I didn't know we were gonna go this deep on it, but yeah. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, man. I asked this on the last episode, and we'll hash it back up next week on Tuesday. If you could change one thing in the Army, just one thing in the Army, what would it be?
Mandatory. You're off at 1700 a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursdays is like a very rigid release time. So this forces people, from what I've seen, it happens, right? This forces people to backwards plan their day. I'm just going to come to work early because I can't work late. I have to meet this deadline. If you give people any kind of wiggle room, like, you can release whatever, then they start bullshitting. They don't make their time at work efficient. They fill it with nonsense. And then now they're working late. They're working themselves to late. And now they create this expectation that you didn't work unless you worked late. If you cap it, you say 1700, get your shit done. You make everything more efficient. People fucking plan out their days ahead of time, and they're like, this is the shit I gotta get done. Ain't no time to fucking bullshit. Like, you just get the shit that you're supposed to get done. And guess what? You know what happens 10 times out of 10? People get the shit done and they get off at 1700. And it turns out you didn't have to work late to begin with.
You know,
You made yourself work late.
dude, that's a great call out right there, honestly. I backwards plan for fucking everything, every single thing. Even now in my job, I backwards plan because I know what time I'm gonna get off. So I know that I gotta set my fucking calendar up a certain way and I prioritize. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand how people don't do that. Um, Let me ask you one more question, man. And this one might get a little heavy. I'm not too sure, what your thoughts are on this, but why do you think morale is so low? I see a lot of motherfucking shit on US Army what the fuck moments or fucking mainly them. They put up shit like, and then they wonder why morale is so low. I mean,
It's people are so dramatic. People are just so dramatic. Morale's gone unchanged in the last 1,000 fucking years. Morale today is the same as morale back in the Civil War days when they were like shitting in the fucking aluminum can. Like, it's never gonna change. I've read the same. This is why retention rates are so low.
right.
Like, the same comment for the last 10 years. I've read the shit. Well, and the guy is saying this as he raises his right hand and like re-enlist. Like, people just bitch, man. Your unit's always the worst one. Your last unit's always the best one in the
Yep.
whole fucking army. Like, oh, I wish we
Do
did it like it's the same shit, dude.
So do you think that maybe it's social media that's exposing it? Do they have more exposure to it? And it just seems like that, kind of like when there's a shark attack in Florida, all of a sudden there's shark attacks all over the fucking world. There's like an uprising, but it's the same shit.
And it's never gonna go away because there's always a steady stream of privates that graduate AIT and they get to their first unit. Like, every week there's a new private that hits his unit and it's like, I'm gonna be a fucking specialist in this field, and then they give you a broom and then you get demoralized and you're like, what? And then now you're sweeping the line and you're like, this isn't what I signed up for. So then you go on social media and you complain, and then guess what? The last week another guy complained, but now he's made corporal and he's like, I'm used to this shit by now. And it's like phases, and you're never gonna hear the end of it until they stop making privates, until they stop making people with feelings. It's a machine. It's never gonna end.
Do you feel now, in your opinion, have the standards changed in basic training, and the standard and if they have, has it been for the better or for the worst?
Let's see. Okay. The standards have changed. The expectations have increased.
Okay.
The standards have gotten are too accommodating. So there's generals that are faced with a dilemma. There's people in the big army that, here's the problem: we're not getting enough people. The civilian side's paying you more, with less education. The general attitudes at the house are different. Obesity is at a high rate, so we have a smaller pool of people to recruit from. And there's all these like different things, and that is affecting how many people we get in. So now you have a pool of 20,000 people. 10 years ago, you had 40,000 people, but now you only got 20,000 people. Out of those 20,000 people, you need to have an army the size of 500,000 in order to defend the nation against these XY threats, right? So now you're being too selective and you're getting 10,000. And you're like, why are we losing these many people in the basic training portion when they're just going to get that kind of training that they're failing at their home station. Like, why are we forcing them out? Now we didn't make numbers. We didn't meet we're falling short to keep us, like, keep the nation defended, basically.
Right.
We just need bodies, man. We just need bodies.
I remember we had this discussion where, the attrition rate is balanced out now because, we get, the standards used to be higher as far as, like, discipline wise, at least. I think that's one of those things that I don't know if it's changed.
In the Army, I feel like the Army doesn't care about discipline anymore. They care about, are you capable to hold a weapon and kill somebody? And if not, then you're just going to be cannon fodder. But if you could do that one basic thing of pulling the trigger and killing somebody, or just decent enough to serve a 4-year contract to do your one basic menial job,
right?
Can you do that? We ain't even gonna yell at you, man. Just, can you do that? Yeah, right. Come on in, because, like, we don't have that. Nobody's, like, volunteering for this shit. There's no war. There's no patriotic duty to serve because there's a war. It's the threat of war.
Why was it then? I mean, what, in your thoughts, in your opinion, why do you think that maybe it was more patriotic, or it was a sense of duty to join the military back in the 30s and the 40s? I mean, I don't know about your household, but, when I was growing up in my household, serving in the military was like an honorable thing, like it was looked up upon. Like, oh, mi hijo es soldado, mi hijo es un marino, so it was like a something that they
I look
out
at
of pride, what I mean?
I look at my dad, and he was in the Army, and he was an infantry paratrooper guy. And I'm like, oh man, here's this fucking hero. Do I know why he signed up? Maybe he was, like, in debt with some strippers and whatever. I don't know that. I know that he signed up, and I'm like, man, this dude's a fucking hero. And I will pass on that, like, hey, you're the third generation. If my kids are like, I want to join, you're the third generation in the military, family tradition and stuff. Right. I hope they don't ask me why I joined, because I have no answer that's going to be good or patriotic for them, or what they want to hear and stuff. I wanted to go to war at the time and stuff. But this, maybe to conflict with what they have to say or whatever. Right. But I can't speak up, like, on my dad. Like, why did he join? Maybe he wanted to pay for some booze or something, like, or that fast car, Ferrari, that John Travolta was driving in the Army commercial. He was driving like a Camaro or something in a commercial. Yeah. And for the Army, get a $800 a month check and drive a fast car from the 70s or whatever.
I don't know. I mean,
I think people join used to join because the Army used to give you a bunch of money and it was stability. But now civilian jobs, you don't have to do anything and you get all that and more.
When you say they used to join because the Army gave you a lot of money, what era are we talking about?
We're talking about like the 90s, the 2000s.
We're probably talking about the GWAT era. Is probably that offered you a lot of money.
And before the 90s, that, yes, and the 90s, bro, too.
My brother could show you his paycheck as an E4 in the Marine Corps in the 90s.
But if you wanted to live in the barracks, if you wanted to have a family, it was the best place to go if you wanted to have a family, because they'd give you money for fucking a house. You'd have a car. You'd have some success. And I'm basing this off 90s Navy too, because like I have relatives in the Navy. And when I saw him, he had like a 2-floor house with my cousin was living in the big house. Right. Like I was like, damn, my cousin's like, they're rich because he's in the Navy. Right. And they have like 3 cars and they go driving to the mountains and all this crazy shit. They're fucking millionaires because the military gave them all that.
You know what's funny is my daughter, my oldest, told me, like, Dad, I used you as what does she call it? Oh, what the fuck are the kids saying now? Like, to like a source of like what the fuck did she say she used me as? Like kind of like throwing me out there for her benefit. Like my dad was a soldier. That's what it was. Yeah. She's like, Dad, I used you as a flex. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean a flex? What's a flex? She's like, yeah, we were having some kind of military thing. I don't remember what it was, But she's like, yeah, and I was proud that you're my dad and that you were in the army. And I'm like, "Oh, holy shit, So I tell people my dad was in the army. I'm like, oh, that's cool shit. After that, she just tells me to go fuck myself. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I thought that was
That's
pretty
what
cool.
that's what I used to do as a kid. I was like, yeah, my dad was in the army, and I got family in the military.
Right.
It's cool when you say it, and like, and who knows, maybe my kids do the same thing when they're in the school. It's like, oh yeah, my dad is in the
Right.
army. He's a soldier. He wears camouflage and
Right.
stuff. Oh, I was always hyped when I went into a military surplus store. I'm like, the
Yeah.
canteen. Whoa, drink water out of this until I got
Dude.
to Fort Sill for OSAT, and now you're drinking water and holding it over your head, and you're like, I don't remember this in my childhood.
Oh my God, dude. For all those in the Navy, shout out to Average GI Joe podcast. When you were a kid, did you play Army or did you play Sailor? Just asking.
You never seen the movie Battleship? Then that shit goes hard.
Battleship.
Yeah,
I played the
dude.
game.
With
You sunk my
Rihanna.
battleship.
Yeah, there's no shit. Yeah, that's
Did you
some
say
OG
Rihanna?
Navy. Yeah, Rihanna
Oh,
was in the
Rihanna's
movie
fine,
Battleship,
dude.
fighting aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, I think
The Navy's got SEALs.
they do have SEALs.
Yeah.
Yo, what you think about those two that one that died and the other one that was in critical condition from the training?
Shit
Were
happens
you
all
on?
the time.
Did we discuss that already with you?
Not with me, but
Oh,
shit happens all the time. I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
I live like 5 minutes away from the fucking training center.
Yeah, right there. It was in Coronado Island, right?
Yeah. Shit happens, dude. Some people just have like pre-existing conditions, maybe. I don't know. Shit happens. People die in basic training all the time. People die. It's
Well, I mean,
workplace related.
what do you think of the outcry, though? I guess I'm getting that from the media, the civilian sector, saying that maybe it's too tough and needs to be changed up.
The media is
more adequate.
the media is gonna make a big deal about it because news is slow. The family obviously is gonna have a big issue with it because
Right.
they just lost a loved one to training and stuff. So they're only gonna hear with maybe like some retired Navy SEAL guy would come in and be like, hey, they're not supposed to do that. Case in point, the helicopter flyover of the stadium.
Yeah.
It was too low or whatever. You know why that came about?
Hmm.
Some old guy that just so happened to be in an aviation unit before in some period of time. I don't think those helicopters should be flying too low. And everybody's hyped because he knows he's the expert. Let me just call my buddy. That ain't right. And then he calls people and he's like, these helicopters are flying too low. And then now it becomes a big deal. Now you can't ignore it. The army secretly inside is saying like, dude, like shut the fuck up, man. Like
For real.
fine. And then the colonel that's flying at the tip of the spear of the fucking formation is like, dude, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Who the fuck is this guy? And now they got to like apologize. And now they got to add safety steps, all because this fucking dumbass who had no like clue what was going on, who used to be a fucking pilot at one point. It's like, oh, I don't.
He's all of a sudden the subject matter expert, right?
Yeah.
I hate those motherfuckers, man. That's why, like, even at work, bro, I try to. Well, it's too late now. A lot of people already know that I'm prior service because everybody that's been there since I started working. But I hate it when when I get introduced and like, oh, he was in the army. Really, I'm more than that.
I'm a human being.
I'm a man with feelings.
I'm a person.
Oh man, hey, check it out, y'all. If you guys are ever in the southeast Texas area, like around Vidor or something like that, make sure y'all go stop by Jimmy Nick's. It's a fucking local business there that's veteran operated. They do great barbecue there. And it's like I said, veteran owned, and the dudes that own it, I mean, they're not gonna let you down with some great fucking barbecue. Go check them out. It's Jimmy Nick's. And then also, man, if you know anybody that's getting ready to retire, like for example, Urena, he's gonna retire one day, and y'all can go ahead and get him a sweet little motherfucker round like this, from Red Leg Custom Woodworks. Go to redlegcustomwoodworks.com so he can go hook you up. The man right there gets down with the rounds, bro. And,
you give me something like that, I'll fucking be reenacting fire missions in my room all fucking day.
Oh man, dude. On the gun line, my favorite position of all was being a chief. But overall, being number one, man, was fun. That was one of the best fucking jobs I had. You know, I love that I did it all. Fucking powder bitch, fucking round runner, gunner, and that's what I loved. I missed the line, man. Just keep the women off of it. Anyways, with that I'm talking shit now. All right. Look, y'all, and in case you haven't gotten the gist of it, we talk shit here. We have opinions. We do. I already put a fucking whole post about that already. So you read it, you read it. If you didn't, you didn't. Don't really care. But yeah, hey, check it out. If you guys want to be a guest on the gun line, have a shoot the shit episode with me, do me a favor, write on the gunline at gmail.com and put on the subject guest, and then we will work with your what's the word I'm looking for? Your schedule.
Yeah.
Get you in. If you wanted to be a one-on-one like this, that's cool. If you wanted to be a two-on-one, me, Urena, or me and Hunt, or all three of us, get a gangbang going, we can go ahead and do that, brother. Let us know. And because I know there's a lot of folks out there that when I talk to them are like, yeah, I want to go ahead and jump on the gun line, and because I heard so and so say this, and I want to talk to them about that. So hey, let us know, man. We'd love to have you on the gun line over here. We can just shoot the shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. If people want to like say I don't agree with you, Rita, I want to debate that motherfucker. Hey man, hey, you just keep me from getting punched in the face, man.
Here's the thing. Like also, it's like that dude says, change my mind. The only thing is that mine is an opinion. All right. They're uninformed opinions that I have. I'm not going to have fucking facts. I'm not going to have all this shit. I'm going to have my opinions, my convictions. And I'm not talking about felony ones, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm still going to respect your opinion, even though you're wrong. So,
Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you being on here, Urena. I hope we get you back on the midweek memo because, me and Hunt, we're holding it down, but we're missing that one stability.
I think it's amazing what you guys are pulling off, man. I get hyped every morning that I listen to it on the drive to work. It's some good quality content, and I wish I was there sometimes to like say my 2 cents. But
right,
you guys are on fire. Like, oh man,
appreciate you, man.
Fucking.
I get here's excited. The thing. It's because we form a triangle though, all three together, because me and Hunt, we can go way off right field, but then we need you to reel us in. You know what I'm saying? You're like the voice of reason sometimes. Like, what the hell are y'all two talking about? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, we're still doing our thing out there. Hunt and I, we gonna keep doing our thing. And I apologize, Hunt, for getting you suspended on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? But hey, check it out. Next Tuesday, we're gonna go ahead and do the recording as we usually do, like around probably 6-ish, 7-ish p.m. And we'll go live on Lee Hunt sometime during the podcast. And, I'm not going to go as hard as I did last time because, that was mainly just a spur of the moment type deal. Sometimes we just
go hard.
Hell no, because next time he'll get fucking banned and have to open a new account. But hey, make sure y'all go like King Virgo 82, I think his shit is. Or King Virgo 84. God damn it. Now I got to look that shit up. He's going to be 40 this year. So it's 82. Yeah. So King Virgo 82. Go look him up. That's our homie out there. And I don't know, do you have a TikTok or socials that you share?
Not that people need to know about.
Okay,
people
too easy.
Find it.
Too easy. Just so y'all know, he's a big fucking troll. All right. He's a big fucking troll. Trust me, he knows how to fucking pick my goddamn nerves. I used to fall for it a lot. It took me a time, but you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I enjoy our time together. And as always, thank you for being here, bro.
Always a pleasure.
And yeah, we'll catch you here. You got any shout outs before we get out now?
Red Leg Custom Woodwork. The Irreverent Warriors Silky's Hike program,
yes.
helping to prevent suicides amongst the veteran community and those serving through humor and just overall camaraderie, man. Just talking to each other you know, veterans to veterans. If you haven't taken on a hike, they do about 2 or 3 each month. Just type in reverentwarriors.com. And you just look up Soki's hikes in your area, or maybe you want to go somewhere else, you know, and then you automatically join a community of people that think just like you. You're not alone. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Go experience it yourself.
I just wondered, bro, because I'm going to be doing the Reverend Warrior here in New Braunfels in April, right?
Yep.
Bro, you think the females are going to whoop my ass for the shit I've been saying on here?
They probably will. And then you're going to be like, fuck. Punch you right in the face.
Right?
Right in the dick. Yeah.
Oh, nah. If they punch me in the dick, I'm going to punch them right in the clit and the tits.
Yeah, and they're gonna be doing laps around you, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm tired," and they're just like, "Catch up, pussy."
Oh God, the day that happens. Anyways, nah, just talking shit, ladies and fellas out here. It's been a pleasure having y'all on here. We'll be back on Tuesday. This will be dropping. By the time you hear this, it should be Friday evening for your drive home. Today is what, Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll drop it tomorrow evening because I don't want to have them back to back like that. Or what do you think? Should we just drop it tonight or tomorrow?
Hey, do what feels right. Do what feels right.
I'll give it till tomorrow evening just so they can have, you know, some time in between.
Give them time to catch their breath, because it's about to fucking burn tomorrow or today if you're listening to that.
I know, right? And like I said, man, the invite's always there, male, female, whatever the fuck you consider yourself. You want to come on the gun line? I may not have known you, but we do share one thing in common, and that's a brotherhood or sisterhood, but the brotherhood mostly of being in the fucking military. All right. All guests are welcome. We shoot the shit, we talk shit, we have good conversations, and you never know, man. I call this therapy without the therapist. It does feel fucking good sometimes just to vent out and have a good time. So with that said, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. So rounds complete, end of mission. Gunline out. Bye, motherfuckers.